Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Can you see here? How are we doing today? How are we doing today? Hope everybody's doing good. Um, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Um, Life is going. I can say that. I can say that. Yeah. I'll tell you a little bit about my day. So not too much happened. I was just outside. It was really sunny today. Like it's been sunny more and more. Maybe it's because summer is approaching, summer is near. So like with school and everything, it makes sense that it's starting to warm up or whatever. So yeah, but IU season is still kicking. I'm still lucky dying a little bit, but um, I'm alive and sound. So I cannot complain. I cannot complain for now. So yeah, yeah. Um, Today's topic, as you see in the thumbnail, is like I guess potential controversial topics just in a relationship. This is like my second debut of podcast, so we're just out here talking. I'ma just I guess rant about like just different things that have just come up in terms of like relationship questions that people are interested in, and just kind of like how to go about it. Mind you, this are only like just from my lens. This is just like what I think. Whether it's good or bad, that is up to you. We all have our own like philosophy in terms of like what we look for in a relationship. We have different assessments, and we have our own way of doing things, which is directly proportional to to the way to the way you guys might be, which might be kind of like a testament to their healthiness and relationship status or toxicity. Sometimes it can be one and the same because there are a lot of people out there that like are into a toxic relationship. They might not even be aware of it, but from an outside perspective or lens, you see it as a red flag. But the red flag sometimes is a green flag to some people, just because there are different cultural backgrounds. Some people they like spice, they like arguments, they like the bickering, they like the loudness in a woman or in a man. So it's like they always just, bumping heads, which, you know, it is what it is. If it works for some people, it works for some people. If it doesn't, it doesn't. To each your own. We are all different. We all look for different things. So that's just kind of like the whole aspect of it, at least from my point of view. So today, just to kind of like kick us off, I would like get like a few questions from like online in terms of just like topics, what to talk about, and I would just generate my fair answers just from my own perspective, right? And yeah, let's kick a start. You ready? Let's go. First question for controversy. Let's see. Should partners share passwords? Hmm. That's a good question, right? Sure. I mean, sure, I guess, but you have to be like like it has to be like after years. If you're talking about like password sharing, you have to be. You can't be like early on. You guys have to like trust one another to even consider like sharing password for certain things, whether that be like bank accounts or anything for that matter. Honestly, so I would say like early on, no. If I had to give a range, actually, I don't think you should share like any like password related stuff until like marriage. Honestly, I'm a strong proponent of marriage. I think marriage is essential to any family's upbringing, and a stronghold to and it's a stronghold to the nuclear family. So like password related stuff, I don't think that should happen until marriage, because then you have like a different form of like connection and just intimacy and affinity. So That's what I would say. So no password sharing like before marriage, from my view, anyways. Is emotional cheating worse than physical cheating? Well, I mean, I say cheating is cheating, honestly, and it's like there's a bracket of cheating, but I'm not sure if I subscribe to just like the brackets of cheating because I feel like anything nowadays can be considered cheating, whether it's just looking at another woman or just talking, but then it can be misinterpreted as flirting. It's like I don't know, but I say for me, cheating is cheating. Like cheating is like you have to talk to your partner about what you consider cheating, and it's like if you guys had that discussion in terms of like just cheating and you know what it would be a red flag or or what would be considered cheating, and it's like if you go out of your way to break your promise or to even like pursue what you guys have hold to a cheating standard, then hey, you are breaking the bond or like the strong bond that you have. But to me, I feel like cheating is cheating. So you're breaking somebody's trust or breaking your partner's trust, right? So yeah, I don't think there's any hold of regard. Cheating is cheating. So and you kind of have to set that kind of like boundary with one another to know that hey, if you do this, you know you are going out of the realm of cheating or you're within the realm of cheating. So yeah, but that's something to discuss with your partner. Can love survive betrayal? Shh. Betrayal, I guess that would mean cheating, right? People can work through it. I mean, trust issue is a real thing. So it's like if you feel like you betrayed, I say just leave. Honestly, there is nothing more like damaging to one's soul or mental health than to feel betrayed from the partner that you trusted, and especially if you guys have been going on for however how long. I definitely say you should leave because it's also about like self-respect. You don't want to be with somebody who has done you so wrong, who you felt like was the one for you. So I say you should definitely like respect yourself and just live out of the relationship. And it's like, mind you, like this is like before marriage. It's not like I think with marriage it's like a different concept. But if you're not married and if you don't have children, because mind you, like I said, there's a sanctity level of just the marriage that everybody should have. And it's like a lot of times, even in marriages, you're not always gonna be happy. Same goes as with a relationship, but also it's like you gotta establish early on, like the boundaries, your core values, what you expect, and and what would be a red flag. And I don't think you should lower like your standards in terms of like red flag. You know, given that you are young and everything like that, and you want to just like kind of remain strong and just um yeah, very. You gotta be bold, man. You gotta be bold. If you see something that that you can't tolerate, let the other person know, because you're doing yourself justice, or you guys is justice. Because mind you, later on it'll be more difficult, especially if you hadn't established that early on. Like everything will just like um just skyrocket, and you don't want that. So yeah, um, is polygamy a valid form of commitment? Shh, polygamy. For those that don't know, polygamy is the I guess mutual agreements to have more than one partner. Well, I think it's illegal in the United States. You can't really marry like more than one woman. But outside the countries or continent, there's several like um places that that are okay with polygamy and it's not illegal. Personally, I don't believe in polygamy. I believe in I believe intimacy is meant to be shared uh, between one partner, right? Not multiple. So maybe it's my bias with that, but I say no. I don't think polygamy is a valid form of commitment. But hey, like I said, whatever works for one person might not work for you. So it's like if you feel like that might work for your relationship, then I say, proceed accordingly. But I don't see that value in it. I would definitely say I don't see that value in somebody else, practicing that. But that's just my opinion. I'm not here to share nobody. People have their own way of doing things, and if it works for them, it works for them. If it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for me. So, um, yeah, I'm just someone that I guess cannot relate or not willing to put myself in that position. Can jealousy ever be healthy? Jealous? I don't think jealousy is healthy. Like you have to be secure within yourself to not be jealous. Like, why are you jealous for? If I'm with you and you trust me and I haven't given you any reason for you to doubt me, to doubt my trust in me, then what are you jealous for? There's like people are always gonna be talking to the opposite sex, right? But it's like if I'm giving you reason for you to, distrust me, then why are we together? Because mind you, I ain't, we don't have time to be like out here bumping heads just because you may be like insecure within yourself to demand that, hey, you need more attention. Why is it that you're paying more attention to her or him? It's like, no, I don't think jealousy is healthy. Like, if you're jealous within yourself, something's always gonna be missing. And it's like, you're not even okay with the woman or men that you are to even be jealous. So I don't think it's healthy, personally, of course. Should flirting outside the relationship be tolerated? I mean, I guess flirting can be fun, but I mean, in my honest opinion, I feel like flirting is just thrown out like so callously nowadays. But I wouldn't say flirting with somebody else. That shouldn't really be tolerated because that's low key disrespect to to your partner. Because why you flirting with another man or woman? Like, you guys are in this together, right? Flirt with one another. Flirting is not dead. Chivalry is not dead. You gotta just have fun with one another. You know, and if you guys think flirting is fun, that is something you have to like agree upon with each other to just maintain, I guess, a sensitive or positive relationship status that you guys have going on. Yeah. Um, can a lack of intimacy justify an affair? I say yeah, of course. Can a lack of intimacy? Of course, of course. Mind you, men and women, you guys we show like affection through intimacy. So whether that is kissing, touching, communicating, it's like yeah, that is how a lot of men and women express themselves. That that they're affectionate towards one another. And it's like if there's a lack of that, it's low key disrespect to the relationship because why are we together yet there is no lack of intimacy? That is how you show that you kiss one another. Because at least for women, they want to feel touched. They want to feel like that they matter to you. That's what typically physical touch seems to be like the go-to in terms of like how they want to be not approach but just want to feel the energy. They can feel the energy to like the touching and all of that. So yeah, communication and everything like that. So yeah, well, I wouldn't say it should justify an affair because mind you, if you're not getting enough intimacy that you feel like, because mind you, one person might feel like they're not getting enough, and the other person might feel like they're getting just enough. So it's like that is something you gotta talk about. And if you feel like it cannot really like move accordingly even after the matter is addressed, then move accordingly. Like either you like you either you compromise or you leave. Man, this is like pre-marriage. I'm gonna talk about like pre-marriage. It's like different. I feel like it's a different aspect if you're like married, but right now all I'm talking about is like pre-marriage. So it's like if you can't get you know um what you need. Well, not what you, yeah, I guess what you can have from a relationship. And it's like, what am I doing? And you're doing both of you guys, I guess both of you guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? So I think intimacy is definitely warranted. Because it just shows that you care for one another. Should friends be prioritized over romantic partners? No, I don't think friends should be prioritized over romantic partners. No, I mean, definitely there's gonna be some situations, right, where like like a friend might need your advice or something, and it's like I'm not saying that you should prioritize him or her, but also like um, there's a form of like I guess com not compromise, but boundary that one should have in terms of like friends, because friends are always gonna be there, right? Because mind you, you're not always gonna be hanging out with your partner. I think having a good, healthy relationship standard along and with friends, that's very important. Because hanging out with your partner 24/7, I don't think that is healthy at all. Because it just creates this form of like codependence. Codependency. I wouldn't personally think that is okay. I would want you to have a life of your own too. Besides just me, because like we are people, we are social creatures, right? I'm not saying that we should spend any less time, but also kind of like set out time to hang out with friends and like be with your other homies, gals, or whoever. That's healthy. That's healthy. Can controversial values lead to relationship conflicts? Definitely. That is not a question. Definitely. Definitely. Controversial value. Like if you value different things and like, because my core values are like low key deep. I will consider them to be deep rooted beliefs that one has grown to be accustomed to. So it will be extremely hard, especially if both of you guys are stubborn. I mean, the belief is kind of like a stubborn system, right? So it's not something you can just like somebody can just readily like shift just because like hey they have um set those standards for them for the future, and it's not something that they will just let go. So it's like if from the beginning you have different like just values or core values, uh I say you shouldn't like go with the relationship. I mean, in some cases, it might work because you guys might compromise some things, but I feel like for the purity of you guys' relationship, it's gonna bring a lot of problems, a lot of problems. And that's why you have to be at least aligned with core values, just for the success of the relationship. Yeah. But traditional gender roles outdated? I don't think so. I don't think so. Personally, men and women, we both have different responsibilities, right, to the household. So I think it's perfectly fine to follow through with the responsibilities for which society holds the standard, right? The men are the provider, women are the caretakers. It's like that's the foundational and fundamental. Um, I'm not gonna say law, but just dynamic. That has been set out to us, and I think right now, like especially in this day and age, men are just trying to sell out. They're trying to make sure that like they are hustling, making money, just so they can take care of one of their own, right? So I think I wouldn't say they're outdated. I wouldn't say so. Can online flirting count as cheating? Online flirting. Online flirting. I mean, I guess, but then again, like I would say that is something to talk to your partner about. But I don't even know why you want to like flirt online. First off, like you don't really get anything out of it, in my opinion. But people are very like that though. They will sit and flirt with somebody online, yet they have a full woman or man like right there next to them. And it's like if you guys are tired of one another, express that, yes, express that to the to them, right? If you feel like you guys are lacking on something, express that to them. Because a lot of times I feel like the inevitability of a relationship that falls apart is because communication wasn't much of a stronghold factor. So it's like communicating is key. You gotta talk to your partner. You gotta make sure that you are here listening. Just because it will prevent a lot of things, a lot of detrimental things to you and to your overall status. So yeah. Should both partners work full time? I mean, the man's gotta be working, right? So I mean, if the man is working and making enough money, right, to sustain you and whoever, then if you want to work full time, that's up to you. But if children are involved, right, I think the mother should be the one to kind of like take care of the children while the men is out here um, fending to keep the roof over their heads. So I guess this is more like a marriage based question. So yeah, mind you, we all people. We like to if we're passionate about something enough, we work for it just for the sake of working, not because we have to work. And I feel like a lot of even just women, they want to like work passionately, not because they have to, but because they want to. So it's like if you're um, if the financial security is good with a man, then hey, she doesn't have to work. Then you're good. But should both partners work full time? I don't think both partners should work full time. If you're talking about full time, it has to be at least one of them. Um, but that will only be in the case of like if they have children. Like, if it's by themselves, they're so ahead doing whatever they're doing. Yeah, of course. One of work full time. I think working builds character. Honestly, builds character, financial. Independency. So yeah, you don't have to worry about like taking care of children or anything of that sort. I think you're good. So yeah, yeah, they can. Yeah, of course, full time. I'm a proponent of just working. Is feminism compatible with romance? I don't even know what that means. Is feminism compatible with romance? Shh. A with romance? I would say no. I guess. I don't know. When I think of feminism, like what is even the definition of feminism? Um, because I would have to like define feminism. Because with romance, it's just yeah. Well, actually, I would have to look up the definition of romance too. Like honestly, because I mean, romance is just a way. I mean, romance is for women, you know, but like the men have to like actually do it. But romance is for women. This is a woman question, honestly. Is feminism compatible with romance? Um, Yeah, I must skip that question. I'm gonna go by. I'm gonna go by. Should men express more emotion? I think men should express. Um, I think men should communicate. I mean, so should men express more emotion? I don't even know what more emotion would mean because, like, what does expressing emotion do for you? Like, you want to be, if you're an empath, you want to be more empathetic. I don't know. Like, I don't understand how useful being empathetic to a man, like what that does for him, right? So emotion, I think I will say we should express more emotion. I don't even know what that means. We are here. We are driven, right? We are driven to build a strong foundation. So I don't understand what emotion. Well, for me personally, I don't understand what emotion has to do with anything. I don't think we should express more emotion because um, it does nothing for everybody, honestly. So yeah, that's what I can say, honestly. Are women expected to nurture unfairly? I wouldn't say so. No, 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 not at all. Not at all. We are both committed to our own standards. Like there are men has to do this for survival. Women have to do this for nurturing. So no, no. Can dating strategies affect sexual roles? Can they, I mean yeah. I mean yeah. I'll say so. I'll say so. I mean you got like was it BDSM or whatever. You got women trying to be men nowadays. You got men trying to be women. It's like it is crazy. It is crazy. You have bi men. I don't know. I don't know how you date both men and women. Women, it's insane. So yeah, I think it can affect sexual roles just because like they might be looking for two different things. Because mind you, if you're not straight or if you're not like the was it heterosexual, like just men to women, women to men, it's like that kind of creates this I don't even know how to say it. It just kind of shatters like what like the traditional aspects of it. So it definitely create. I'm not gonna say chaos, but it creates just I guess a whole new world, a whole new world. That's what I can say. Can online influence erode real relationships? Can online influence erode real relationships? Yeah, I say so. I mean, anything can influence relationships, whether it be like your friend talking your ears off about like hey, about like you guys this relationship in terms of like hey you're telling her everything that's going wrong, maybe not what's going right, and this it creates a sense of like hey you got to get out of there because there's so many red flags, and this that's only from the perspective of the woman or was it yeah I mean it's typically women so Um, I mean, I guess I can say men too, right? But we don't tend to talk as much in terms of like our relationship. It's just typically more of the woman, and of course they have to go to their friends to just kind of like psychoanalyze everything that they are saying from their perspective without listening to the other party, which there's already a discrepancy right there. So it's like it becomes even more chaotic, right? So yeah, it's crazy. Are suicidal norms still shaping modern relationships? Yeah, of course, of course, of course. As societal norms still shaping modern. I mean, I say so. I think we have the overall goal of a nuclear family, right? So I think we're just using our time here, like early on, given that we're still young, whether that be what early 20s, or just teens, just kind of figure out like what we want, our core values, all of that is shaped like what we see on social media, how we grew up in terms of just like family. I mean, our parents are literally like role models, especially if you live for like both parents, just to kind of like they have set up the foundation to be like, hey, this is what we want from you guys, and it's like, hey, yeah, so just along with that, everything that we see like on the daily, on like outside, whether it be in the park, just watching, walking, seeing people, family members, couples outside talking, relaxing, and doing whatever. Yeah, I say so. I say so. Of course, of course, of course. Let's see. Who should manage the money? Who should manage the money? I mean, women are known for being like organizational or managing money, right? So I guess I would say I guess I would say women. We do make money, right? But also because we make the money, that don't mean we know how to like was it maybe save or even just manage it, right? That's because we can be impulsive. I can admit to that. I can admit to that. So I guess I would say, in terms of like just like men and women, more women, and they're typically the secretary too. So it's like, hey, um, in terms of like budgeting, I think women are good budgeters. Like they know how to budget money. So like just from what I know, I would say I would give it to the women in terms of like just managing money. Should chores be split evenly? Sure. Although evenly, I'm thinking what even on my intel. But I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, evenly, sure, sure, yeah, I can do that. Yeah. Is it okay to check each other's phones? Shh, I don't think so. I would say no, because what's the point? I mean, okay, so is it okay to check each other's phones? Like, it's not that I'm against it, right? But it's like if you're checking my phone with the intention of trying to catch me or trying to like see if I'm like cheating or anything of that sort, that's a red flag. Because what's going on here? What's going on here? If I've given you the reason that I cheated on you, right? Bring it to my. You should at least bring it to my attention, right? And if you have like details, I say like, hey, I know you were over here at set time or whatever, right? Cause much one of my homegirls, they called me. They were like, hey, this man MT was out here fooling around. Not that you should explain it to me, but like if you really think that you caught me in some type of like lie or in a situation, just address it right then and there. Cause mind you, I don't have time to lie. Like even if I'm lying, you're gonna be able to tell if I'm lying. Cause I feel like I'm kind of open. So yeah, I don't think checking each other's phone as a prerequisite for cheating. I don't think that is. I don't think that is okay personally, because I wouldn't want to like just check on my girl's phone because like, hey, huh, I did this to her today. She must have cheated on me, or is about to cheat. Let me just make sure I put her on. No, I think that's controlling. I don't like that personally for me. So I would say because like if I'm with you, right? Unless you give me reasons to think that like you're not for me. But that is something that I would just like address. I would just talk to you about it, and then like because I wouldn't just say anything like off putting. I would want to let you know that like, hey, um, I'm going through this. I'm experiencing this because of this. So let's hash it out and just let me know if I'm right. If I'm not right, then hey, okay. So um, yeah. Uh, who decides what counts as quality time? Both of you guys, both partners. You know, let's say in this together. Like, what one person might consider quality time, another might not consider quality time. But also, when you're doing an activity together, you guys have to be in the same equilibrium in terms of like um, just making sure that you guys are having fun, or at least with the intent of fun, right? Because one person might have fun, but not necessarily the other. Mind you, we have different hobbies, we got a different mindset, and we just have different things that that makes us happy. But also we can compromise, right? But it's like you have to like set a standard in terms of like, hey, I'm not actually like this. Because mind you can do something that makes the other person happy. It might not be like if you do it, it might not make you happy, but if you do it for them, just seeing them happy makes you happy, Because mind you, a lot of times I feel like whether it be, well, it's mostly men, but I'm gonna say men and women. So one person might not be okay with a certain activity, but it's like there's a certain joy in the activity you're doing is for the benefit of your partner. That just sends you like happiness or butterflies or whatever. So yeah, but it's very It's very personal. It's just like quality time. So just share that with one another. Do shared hobbies matter matter more than our languages? Shared hobbies. I wouldn't say one matters more than the other. I think this is just like different, distinguishable things that that pertains to you guys, right? So you guys, we have like I said, I was saying earlier about like hobbies and anything that you want to do. We have all of that. We're not like this. We're not the same person, but we can be happy doing what each other likes, which could inevitably makes us happy. Just because we're doing it for the sake of doing it, and us doing it, making one person happy, that makes us happy. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, then you don't, I guess. Can one person be too private? I mean, yeah, yeah. I guess it's more catered to like men. Um, because I mean, we don't tend to be as expressive as our counterparts. So it's like it's just something to like to talk about. Because sometimes, like even for me, I don't feel the need to talk too much. So it's like I yeah, I would just stay to myself just because I can. Oh, just because it's just me. But yeah, I think one person can be too private, and if it's a problem for one partner, then it's better to address it. I guess you can address it early on. I mean, it's always better to address anything early on, just so like you know the type of like standard both of you guys have to maintain, just like to be content or happy with you guys, right? But at the same time, it's like um, because mind a person can be an introvert, but just because you're an extrovert doesn't mean that the other person can be an extrovert too. Because mind you, if it, like you can't really change a person, like a person's its physiological nature. Because if a person, because I would say that I'm an introvert, but I can be an extrovert depending on the people that I'm around, right? So it's like if it's deeper there like that, then I mean, you knew what you were dealing with before you even get there. I would assume that you did it for like however how long, or like I mean, you like got to know each other for however how long before you even went to the transition of actually dating, right? Because it's not as if anybody can really hide your character or the way they are for the first few months or whenever. So if it's something that that just like sprung on you as you were in there, and you feel like it's a deal breaker or a red flag, then leave. Like nobody is forcing you to be in a relationship with somebody that might be overly private and you don't like that. Because yeah, we just different. That's all it is. You're just more open. I'm just more closed off. And it can be like just the way you were. It can be pretend it's like how you were raised, just just a natural phenomenon that occurred with you, or just is the way it is. But you can anybody can work through that. It's not as important as like core values, belief systems, or anything of that sort. But yeah, sure. Apologies come with explanations. Sure, I guess. Sure, sure. I mean, yeah, you don't want to give a half-hearted, I guess, apology and be like, yeah, that's it. But sure, I guess. I guess. Like in the moment type of thing, I don't think that's necessary. But if it's like something that happened before and then it just happened to be addressed again, it's like, yeah, okay, I guess. But I guess sure. The couples need shared future goals. I don't even know what that means. I think couples should have future goals in general. Shared, I mean, I think if you guys are together, you automatically have like future shared goals. So that's why I'm like, okay, um, is that one word? But I wouldn't say that the need. I think it just happens naturally, right? I think like future goals just happen naturally. Because mind you, if you're like in your 20s or whatever, you want to like be with the person for a long time, and that in itself comes with just, hey, um, marriage, potentially marriage, children, all that thing, forever, however. Yep. Another, should honesty always be blunt? I think honesty is honesty. Honesty can be whatever it is, but just you gotta be honest. You just gotta be honest. I mean, it can be blunt. It doesn't have to be blunt, but because man, it's also depend on like just like the type of person each person is. It's like you can be unfilteredly honest, like and you can be nicely honest. It just depends on the type of person you are, honestly. But for me, I'm transparent. I mean, I can be shallow, but I will like let you know like what's on my mind. If I feel like something is bothering me, I will let you know. Cause I don't have time to just like sugarcoat that. Hey, maybe I guess okay. Well, yeah. So that's not me. But yeah, can secrets protect a relationship? I don't believe in secrets. No, no. I think let me see. Like, or at least I don't see the points in secrets in terms of relationship, right? So, but I wouldn't say secrets protect a relationship. If anything, it just not that it compromises a relationship, but it's like, why are we here? Why are we supposed to be in this together? But you know, but we're not as open as we can be. I think secrecy has to do with a lack of openness, not because you're like lying or anything like that, but you don't feel the need to express everything that you know that you should. And who knows, it might be even, I mean, it might be healthy or detrimental, right, to the relationship because sometimes just coming as your full self in the beginning, no less, it's like that can be seen more as a red flag, if anything. It's like, you wanna make sure that like, you transition smoothly in your relationship, right? So yeah. Is timing more important than intent? Hmm. Timing. I mean, is timing more important than intent? Uh, and I mean, if I was to answer this like just as it is, because I mean, I don't even like that question. But if I was to answer that question, I would say intent is more important. Like if I was to answer just that question just straight up, I don't really believe in this question because yeah, but I would say intent. I think intent is more important just because like it shows how much or it can show how much you value a person, right? Because mind you, if you're intent on keeping the relationship, right, you're intent of making this last, you will want to make sure you're doing everything possible just to make sure that the success of the relationship is, it's okay, it's satisfactory. I'm not saying that the relationship is a battle. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm also saying you just gotta make sure that like certain openness that you have in a relationship, which kind of sets off um, like just the the foundation to a happy one. Should one apology? Should one ap- should one apologize for being misunderstood? Should one apologize for being misunderstood? I mean, I guess, yeah, no, I don't know. Why apologize for being misunderstood? I think we have different thought processes, right? I don't think nobody say apologize for just thinking differently or for just misunderstanding one another. I have people that misunderstand me all the time. I have like that misunderstand me and vice versa. I misunderstand them. So it's like I'm not gonna apologize for being misunderstood or for misunderstanding. However, I will pursue clarity though. I think clarity is important because mind you, we're just too different. Nobody's fully the same. We're just different. Because mind you, especially if we're raised differently too, we have different thought processes. So it's like, I'd rather like talk right now, and you misunderstand me as I'm talking, than than you bringing it up however how long, and then me being lost. I was like, wait a minute, I know I didn't say this. So I want to just being straight up with you from the get go. Are routine arguments a red flag? Routine arguments, yeah, I think they're red flags. What does that even mean? You're planning for arguments, or you planning to argue? I think it's a red flag. Um, I mean, like I said, no relationship is perfect. There's always going to be some type of like arguments or just brief quarrel with one another, right? Regardless of whether it can be deemed as serious or an offense or whatever. And that is something we have to live with, because it happens. It happens to even like the most successful marriages. So yeah, but yeah, I'm not gonna say what. Yeah, but it's like if you guys know what works for you, and if it's not detrimental to like to any of you guys' mental health, or to the point where somebody is throwing or breaking windows, piercing tires, or anything of that sort, crushing doors, jumping, attacking one another, then yeah, nah. So yeah, is curiosity about an ex unhealthy? Oh yeah, unhealthy, and it's like a red flag. Because why are you curious about your ex? How are we in this together? Yeah, are you curious about an ex? And I wonder, what does curiosity entail? Because that's even a broad matter. Matter. What does that entail? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Cause am I not doing everything that you want of me? That I even want out of you or the relationship? Like, why am I just here? And like, it's just crazy to me. Um, yeah. Uh, let's see. Should each partner have a personal therapist? Man, I knew this question was gonna pop up. Personal therapist. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't believe in therapy. I don't. Unless I get convinced, I guess. But because what is the point of talking to a stranger? Sure, he or she is qualified to ask questions or just listen. But anybody can be a listener. Why am I out here with my partner? Actually, a partner should be a physical therapist. Honestly, I don't believe in bringing outside help to talk about the relationship, and giving just and for the other person to analyze, what I'm going through, what I know what I'm going through. The woman knows what she's going through. What are you gonna tell me that is different? If anything, I know what I should change, or what the other person should change. We just gotta be more in sync with one another. If we are arguing, or just like I get hopefully this doesn't happen, like violence or whatever with us. It's like we know what we need to do better. Because mind you, if you're having problems, all we gotta do is not have those problems. But then again, it's easier said than being done, right? Because mind you, relationship is work. You're gonna be facing a whole lot of problems, a whole lot of heap of troubles, and it's like you can have advice to, I don't know, to clear the air or just help maneuver accordingly. But I don't need the help of an outsider to let me know that. I already know what technically we or I should do. So I mean, I don't believe in therapy. So yeah, can the relationship debate questions reveal true compatibility? The relationship debate questions. Yeah, I say so for sure, for sure, for sure. I think just even just talking, the way you're talking, like kind of how you answer, you can kind of assess the compatibility of a couple, right? Whether it's like, you ask them a question about just, just anything. um yeah, you can kind of assess if you feel like they're compatible or whatnot. And I feel like more, like, I think outside people see it more than if you like, than if you're the one in the inside. Because mind you, we don't know anything about you guys, so it's like when they see from the outside perspective, we can tell if you guys' relationship just healthy or not, honestly. And it makes sense too because I feel like typically if you're inside, you're more prone to the blindness of it all, or you might not even be aware of it, which makes sense. But yeah, okay, it's a few more questions. Okay, is living together before marriage a necessity? No, and it is not a necessity. Matter of fact, I don't even think I believe in living together before marriage. No, because what's the point? I don't. Yeah. Um. Besides financial burden, I guess I don't think it's necessary to live together before marriage. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Should prenups be a standard? Well, people have a lot to lose, so should prenups be a standard? But this is a you don't want a prenup to be a standard, but also it's like divorce is skyrocketing right now. So it's like prenup seems to be like the next best thing in terms of like not losing too much of what you worked so hard for years to obtain. So I'm not gonna say that it should be a standard. I mean, that's just like me saying that lying should be a standard for protecting somebody, for protecting like a relationship or whatever. I wouldn't say that, but it can be deemed necessary at times. Prenups are definitely like I was gonna say necessary, but like if you want to make sure that like you don't lose as much of anything, then I guess prenup is what prenups are warranted. Let me just say that, yeah, they warranted. They warranted. Yeah. Can parenting disagreements ruin a bond? Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because nothing is more infuriating than having like parenting disagreements. Imagine parenting disagreements. It's not like just random arguments about like, hey, wash the dishes or anything like that. It's just about like it's more about raising the child. I mean, especially if you both of you guys are from like different religious backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, or anything of that sort. It's like that should have been a conversation that you had years prior to even having children because mind you, nothing's more infuriating than like disagreeing on the parenting styles. Because you always gonna be bumping heads. Like, hey, you want the child can't do this because of this? No, he can do this. It's like no, no. It's very yeah. It would definitely like harm the bond that you guys accumulated for however how long. Is financial independence healthy in marriage? Yeah, I say so. I say if you want to make your money on the side, hey, go for it or whatever. You see your own person at the end of the day. But that doesn't mean we don't have a shared account. We have a shared account, but you can also have like side money or whatever. Yeah, it's cool. Are breakups ever truly mutual? No, no, they're not ever true. Mutual is a, like I would describe mutual as a perfect understanding, right, from both partners. But a breakup would never be mutual because man, you guys had to have come up with just the breakup intention within around like the same time. And it's like there's typically one person that proposes, not even proposes that says they want to break up, or even just proposes the idea of breaking up. That is not mutual. Like, mind you, it's different when you say that, hey, because you proposed it, they can agree with you. But they only agree with you because you are here just listing different things that you may want or that is missing with you, and it's like you feel like you might feel like the other partner might not be able to give you that just because of where they at or just how they are. I don't, but yeah, I don't think breakups are ever mutual. They can be understanding because you might not feel the most like the best of the most that you are, but I don't think they're ever mutual. You know, I resent that statement. No question. Uh, are personal goals more important than couple goals? I would say yeah. Like just to answer that, just like on 330, yeah. I think it's always best to just like work. It's always best to work on yourself first, right? I mean, even in a relationship, all of you guys are like together. You guys form a partnership. It's always good to work on oneself. Um, and I feel like the most like um if you're okay to be like if you're okay with yourself, right? I think it's important to be true to yourself, work things out with yourself before, and then displaying the actions, like the affection with one another. So yeah, uh, sure. I don't still believe. Sure, I don't still believe in soulmates. Psh, I don't believe in soulmates. Honestly, I mean, there's so many people out there to have a soul to for you to only have one soulmate. There ain't no soulmates. I mean, there's a right person for you. Yeah, I can say that if you want the elongated version of soulmate, if you even want to call that soulmate. But I don't believe in soulmates. Or at least when I think of soulmates, I think of that one person that is unequivocally right for you. Like no matter what, you have been searching for this person, or this person has been in the back of your subconscious for however long, and then you just happen to meet, and then you guys are just locked in for life. It's like I don't believe in the perfect person. I mean, there's a perfect person for you, to handle all your disorientation, your mood swings, and everything else that that you come with. But other than that, yeah, yeah. That's the last. Let me see, I think that was the last question. Yeah, I think I would end it right there. Honestly, I will do another like section of this later on during the week, which will be kind of like a continuation. But yeah, this was good. I had fun, honestly. I think it's just important for me to even just like let you guys know what I'm thinking, and we can have a conversation, and um just make sure like from a point of view of like where I'm stemming. Mind you, I can't be the only person thinking the way I'm thinking. We all have different philosophies, but also there's like um, just a foundational way of thinking that we kind of have adjusted ourselves from just living here and including the social normalities of everything and how we work. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, like, and potentially share. And yeah, I will catch you guys again. Thank you so much for being with me. It's been a pleasure.